Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's live stream with Scuba Sonia. And thanks for joining. I know Friday night's kind of an oddball night for people to kind of join in. Everybody's out doing their shopping, doing their after work drinking, and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's hopefully we get a few people. I've got Sonia's in the back room. She's just itching to come out here and tell us her stories. But before we get there, I want to show you this intro. This is one of the awesome intros that I've seen, and let's get to it. And Sonia's going to be right after this, so stay tuned. Now, wasn't that a dramatic entrance? Welcome!
Hey, how's it going?
It's going very well. I saw you in the back room, kind of giggling and enjoying it all.
Yeah, those are some cool questions.
Oh, well, good, good. It just I'm trying to get some new ones all the time, and Mama's gone detecting. She's always kind of fed me some questions to put up, and I think I'm down to maybe I have one more set of new questions that I'll be able to put up with in there. But yeah, it kind of gets people thinking a little bit. But anyway, welcome, Sonia.
Thank you
It's
for having
great to have you on the show, and like I say, I really love that intro that you did. It's pretty cool, you know. Now, did you do all that yourself, or did you have help on that?
me. Yeah, I used iMovie for that. They have some cool tools that make it easy to do something like that. You kind of just pick the videos, the pictures, the music, and yeah, they pretty much help you put it all together. So it came out awesome.
Yeah, it
I
did.
was
Yeah,
really
it
happy with
is.
it.
Yeah, yeah. It's just yeah. I guess you just have to get. Now, did you do some of the underwater photography or videos or yeah?
That was all me. Yeah, any
Oh.
video you see there, with the exception of when I'm jumping off the boat, that was all
Oh,
me.
okay, great. Yeah. Now, the question I have for you, Sonia, is now how did you get into? Now, you've got two hobbies here. You've got magnet fishing and metal detecting. Now, how did you get into these hobbies?
It started when I saw people online. They were taking metal detectors down into the water. Uh, I didn't realize how expensive of a hobby it is, because I wanted to kind of mix the two. I'm a diver, it's my biggest passion. And I thought it'd be really cool to take a metal detector with me, especially when I travel to see what I can find. So it kind of started with that. And that's where I started metal detecting. And then I started seeing, people magnet fishing too. And it's kind of that thrill of not knowing what you're going to find. And that kind of lured me in. I went my first time with my friend Gerald, and she offered for me to, use her magnets, try it out before I got my own. And I pulled up a safe, I pulled up a bunch of cool stuff, and I was hooked.
Yeah.
That was the end of it for me.
Yeah. Now, did you find anything in the safe, or was it all broken in and just threw the pieces in?
Yeah, it was the front door that we pulled up first. It was very clear somebody had pried it open, and then the rest of the safe we got out afterwards, which was very heavy. But you can tell it was like bolted into either some boat bottom or something. There was still some plywood on there. So
Okay.
somebody had taken what they wanted from there and ditched the rest.
Yeah, yeah, I guess, yeah. I mean, that's probably true. I mean, it could be into some boat bottom because, especially the larger boats, people do carry a lot of cash and valuables, so they need to kind of protect it somehow, and that would probably make the most sense is to be able to have it stashed somewhere on your boat and protect your valuables, you know. So
That's what I'm guessing happened, unless somebody just pulled it literally out of like a hotel or something that's a little harder to get
yeah,
away with.
yeah,
So,
I guess, yeah, yeah, really. Now, in terms of your magnets, what strengths of magnets are you using?
so my magnets are around 2,600 pounds, give or take. I have two magnets for now. Um, Both of them are awesome. I have one from Muscular Magnetics and I have one from Magnetar. The Magnetar magnet was a little more pricey, but that's like my baby. If I ever lose that, I will cry on video.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah. Because
But that's,
that was going to be one of my
yeah,
questions: is have you ever lost one?
not yet. Knock on wood.
Yeah,
I don't want that happening. They are, I mean, they're replaceable. So at the end of the day, you can't get too upset, and it's part of the risk you're taking. But I would cry.
yeah, yeah. No, I think I would too. I mean, I got a couple of magnets and I gave one to my grandkids and they're using it up around the dock where they live on the lake there and hopefully they'll find some goodies in there. But yeah, I would hate to lose them too. You know. So now the other question is, how close have you come to pinching your fingers with this magnet?
Um, that's a funny question. When I first got it, I was testing it. So I took out a couple of metal things, but you don't realize how much metal you have around you until you get a magnet like that.
Yeah,
And any way that I would turn or anything I'd put it down on, and I still do this sometimes, it'll attach to something because you're not really thinking about that. You use day-to-day objects and you're not thinking about whether or not they're metal, you just use them. But then when you have that strong of a magnet, you've got to be careful. So
yeah,
there were
yeah.
a few times where I've been testing it where something would kind of flip back to the magnet really quickly, but luckily I've never actually been too hurt by that.
Okay.
But it's definitely possible.
Yeah. Now, is there a special case that it comes in?
Mine did not. Mine came in a pretty box and all, but it came in with some sort of a, not a styrofoam, but a plastic sort of cushion
Yeah.
to keep it from attaching to things during transit. Some of the magnets do come with an entire case and everything, which is great. But the one I happen to get did not come with that.
Yeah, yeah, and I see Mark DeBerger says, "Watch out if you have a plate in your head." I
Oh
think the
yeah,
other thing you have to watch out for too with those is like if you have a pacemaker.
yeah, yeah.
You know, because
I wouldn't recommend using it if you do have a pacemaker. I imagine that's pretty dangerous.
yeah, yeah, they have to really be careful with that. Yeah, so yeah, wow,
Yeah, even this last weekend when I was out, I had my phone in my hoodie pocket. And, I'm just taking my magnet out of the bucket just to get ready to go magnet fishing. And I had it right on my phone. I felt it pulling. I was like, oh my God, it's going to ruin my phone. Luckily it didn't, but
yeah,
there's
yeah,
a very high chance that it could
yeah.
have.
Now, I guess the other thing is I'm thinking like you have to be careful with your credit cards too because it demagnetizes your credit cards, doesn't it? So you could be
Yeah,
running into problems somewhere with that.
I feel like credit cards right now are pretty sophisticated where that might not happen, but it depends on the card and the technology that it uses. But I would definitely keep it away if you can. Don't keep it anywhere near your wallet.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
even hotel keys, it's super easy to deactivate them just with your cell phone, let alone a
Hmm.
magnet.
Yeah, I know. I have a pickup truck and I put the magnets in the back of, but I made kind of a plastic case to put them in, and the lucky thing about me is on my F-150 it's got aluminum chassis on it and body, so it doesn't stick to it. But otherwise, it's some of the other trucks. They're all metal, so it'll just stick to the side, and
Yeah.
yeah. So you got to be careful with it for sure.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
now you do the metal detecting too. Now, is there lots of areas around where you live that you can get out and do the metal detecting?
There's a lot. So here, my understanding is we can basically detect on public land as long as it's not historical land, and there are certain parks that are off limits.
Hmm.
I usually will reach out to a park and recreations email or contact and figure out where exactly I can hunt in an area. But for the most part, public areas are good to go, and that's usually where I go. I know there's quite a few people who go door knocking. I'm not quite confident to go and do that just
Yeah.
yet, but I think that's on the plan for this year. I know Nancy's trying to door knock a little bit now too.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm gonna try to work on that for this year. I would love to get onto some private properties, but just not there
Yeah,
yet.
yeah, I know it does take a little bit of to hello, my name is Sonia. Can I come on your property and dig some holes? Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
and
yeah,
I can imagine putting myself in that situation. If somebody knocks on my door, especially if you have a manicured lawn, obviously they're going to say no. But if there's a property where it's not not manicured, you have a slightly higher chance. But still, if a stranger's showing up to your door, the first thing you think is, oh, it's a telemarketer or they're
yeah,
trying to sell
yeah,
me something.
yeah,
So it's trying to figure out a good way to communicate that without overwhelming them the
yeah.
second they open.
Now, I don't know if you saw, I had interviewed the history digger, and he's a great one for getting permission. He has a form letter that he's put together and some flyers, and so he's mailed them out a couple of times ahead of time, then he'll knock on the door, and he's got some great results. And he's more than willing to share all that information. So if you ever want to, kind of pursue that a little bit more, is just, get a hold of him, and he'll more than send that information to you and help you along.
Oh
But
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I'm still learning. I'm still a huge newbie. I've gotten lucky a couple of times. Mark mentioned that I got silver on my first time out, which is true. I actually got three
wow,
silver.
wow,
I got 2 coins and a silver bow, which I showed you.
yeah, yeah,
But that was all luck, I swear to you, because I
yeah,
still wasn't familiar with my machine, and I dig anything and
yeah.
everything. So
Well,
that
I mean, people say it's luck, but you know what? It's getting out there and swinging. That's what it is. I mean, if you don't get out and swing, you're not going to have luck. So that's the
and
whole.
digging.
Yeah, so but yeah, it's a great sport to get in there. Yeah, Marlon just kind of joined us here too now. So what surprised you the most with these two hobbies? What was the most surprise that you've gotten?
Um, I think initially I didn't realize how much time you spend out there to find something. Um, for me, because when you watch videos, and I do the same thing, the videos are short, especially relative to the amount of time you can be spending 6, 8 hours looking for stuff, come up with maybe 3 or 4 really cool finds.
Yeah,
And people don't see those 6 or 8 hours. They see the 15 minutes you've condensed it into. So going into it, I guess I had this, I was so excited and I was a newbie and I was like, I'm going to find something great. But it doesn't necessarily happen that way because I did get lucky the first time, but not every time.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it really
yeah.
got,
Yeah, I know sometimes you kind of have to you check the area you're going to go into and you're hoping that you're going to get some good things to find in there, I
mhm.
know, a lot of the East Coast and down your neck of the woods, it's an old area. So the chances are for you guys to find old coins and old historical items are pretty good in most
Mhm.
places that you would go to. And that's what us Canadians kind of miss. I mean, our country's not that old, and especially out on the west coast where I live, it's very young. So I mean, if I find something 50 years old, that's old, and that really that's nothing, compared to the rest of the world, So, but yeah, it's cool. I know we've got some of your photos that we'll go through and some of the coins you're finding. Um, so when you began metal detecting, what is it that you would have kind of liked to have known before you got into it?
Um, One is I purchased the Excalibur first. So I did that with the intention of going diving with it. For me, it made sense, but I didn't realize how much I'd want to be digging on the ground too. And the Excalibur is a great machine for what it's made for, but it is not meant for going on dirt.
Oh yeah.
There's no display, there's nothing. So you're kind of running blind. You hear a signal, but that's about it. So if I had known how much I'd prefer or how many more opportunities I'd have to dig in the ground, I totally would have probably went with a simplex first to get comfortable with it. But then, you know, at the end of the day, I have both now, so I can do both. But it would have been in my financial interest to have went with the simplex first.
Yeah. I think that's what, you know, I would suggest too to anybody that's kind of thinking of getting into the hobby is number one is maybe join a club and go to a couple of meetings. I think that's what I did before I got my machine. I went to a couple of meetings with the club and talked with the members and asked them about, you know, the different aspects of detecting. And then that's how I decided on what I'm going to do. But the ultimate thing here is we never just have one machine. You know, like, I mean, you look at some of these people and they'll have 10 machines, you know, so I mean, you're covered. I mean, you're covered. That Excalibur is just a fantastic machine for underwater, which is what you love doing. So it's the best for that. So, but it's not a land machine. You're right.
I need to stop being spoiled and actually start diving in colder water. I'm actually going to be heading over to Detroit in a month or so. And on the way, I'm hoping to get my dry suit certification, hopefully in Ohio. So doing that, I'll be able to do a lot more diving here in New Jersey, even if it's colder.
Yeah.
So that'll open that up for a little bit more. And I'm sure there's plenty to find down at the bottom here in New Jersey. So
I'm sure. Really yeah. Now, have you ever gone to Hawaii and dive in Hawaii? Have been diving there?
Not yet.
No.
It's on the list.
Yeah.
I'm considering it this year, but I mean, obviously it's been tough to travel with the pandemic and everything. So my list of places I wanted to go last year is kind of transferring towards the end of this year, but I'm getting my second COVID shot in 2 weeks. Okay. So 2 weeks from that, I'll be hopefully immune for the most part. But that's going to make it easier for me to try.
Yeah.
Hopefully. But at least that's one step closer to being able to travel a lot more. I'm sure restrictions are going to lighten up quite a bit for those who are vaccinated, which is really the main reason I'm doing it. Yeah. So I can travel more. So yes, Mark, I will let you know when I'm going to Hawaii.
And St. Croix is a nice to dive too. It's from Gene, you know. So I've never been down to St. Croix, but I would love to go there too. But I can tell you about Maui. I have friends that dive, and he's also a metal detector in the club that I belong to. And he says it's just beautiful diving over there. And so he's done some metal detecting and diving at the same time over there, and so it's just a great place. I've metal detected on the beaches on there. It's just Sonia, it's incredible, you know, to go over there.
I was gonna say, is that a good? Is there that?
It's just like I wish I was there now. You know, it really is. You know, just miles of beautiful beaches, and it's warm, and you know, you're just swinging and just enjoying life and finding lots of good stuff. I'm itching to get back, and I know, like, if you have your second shot, I believe Maui is now. I think you just have to have a test before you go, and a test as soon as you get there, and as long as it's negative, you don't have to quarantine, so you can just go and do your stuff right away. So,
I saw that. I recently had to go to Chicago, and that was their recommendation: get a test before and after. But I think with the vaccine, they're actually going to be a little more lenient, where you probably don't have to get the test, at least not before. Yeah. Maybe just after to make sure. But it should make it a little bit easier there too.
I know. There's just traveling is it's just hazardous right now with everything. You know, you just can't get up and go, and you know. So, but yeah, it's I'm looking forward to once things kind of open up. Now on your channel, how do you put your channel together? What do you use? Do you use GoPros? Do you use iPhones? What?
So right now, up until now, I've only been using my GoPro. I upgraded to this GoPro, which is I think a 7, maybe 2 years ago. And the only reason I upgraded is because my GoPro 4 stopped charging.
Oh, okay.
But the GoPro 7 actually has an extra stabilization feature, which is critical for diving. But it helps a lot with my magnet fishing and metal detecting videos too. So I stick to a GoPro, but I think I've been thinking about it recently, and I think I might expand a little bit to use my GoPro and my phone, especially because I just upgraded my phone too.
Yeah.
And the quality's pretty cool. So I think I'm going to combine a little bit of both and see how that turns out, because I think having different perspectives when you're filming can be really nice, and it gives people a different viewpoint. So I think people might enjoy it some more that way. So I'm going to try that in the next couple of weeks too.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know. I love watching the diving kind of metal detecting, with the videos, and there's a couple. I think the mermaid treasure hunter out of Japan. She was on the show, and she does that too. I haven't seen many of her underwater, but it's kind of cool to see that. I know the other thing with when you're using the GoPro for diving videos is, do you put any sort of filters on there, because the colors change underwater? You have to kind of adjust for the colors.
Yeah, so I usually use a red filter, except for the times that I forget it, where I kick myself, because once you're down under, you're not coming back up for a filter. But I usually use a red filter because the color is way, way better and more realistic. Otherwise, everything's kind of greenwashed, which isn't as nice.
Yeah.
But yes, highly recommend for anybody diving, if you're recording, bring a filter. Even
Yeah.
if you're going down 15 feet, bring a filter, at least a pink one. So
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, I mean, as long as people watching this, that make sure that they do add that red, because it does come out of that when you're underwater in there. So that's a good point to make there. So and we have wish me luck. Roberto is saying, "Hey, Sonia, you are talking with a pro."
Roberto's he's inviting me over to Puerto Rico, and he doesn't realize that I was literally Googling flights to Puerto Rico like earlier this week. So if I show up, don't be upset.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. He's stirring the pot. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I know. I mean, I'd love to go down and see Roberto too, and do some hunting with him, because he finds some great stuff too. So.
Oh yeah. That would be so much fun.
Yeah, yeah. And that I know you guys on the East Coast. There's a lot of you that are a close knit family that get together and hunt, and it's kind of that's a real cool thing to be able to do that. It just I see the names in the chat here, and all these people, they've all hunted together. You all know each other, and for us up here in Canada, this is the way we get to know you guys down there, is through the chats and seeing your videos, but we're looking forward to getting together and meeting you, face to face.
There's so many people that I've been wanting to detect with, or have almost had opportunities to detect with, and I think it might be the funnest part of all of this, because meeting new people and just getting to know them. I'd say 99.9% of the people in the community are just phenomenal people.
Yeah.
I can't account for 100%, but I think most people are just super generous. They're so willing to share information and their sites, especially for someone new like me. And it's just great to get out with other people. I even had a chance to meet with Darcy from Kep Valley Diggers. I was on a work call, I guess. I was in Canada for a couple of days, and I was able to get together with him. It was only for a couple of hours, but it was so great to meet him in person.
Yeah.
And you have a different connection with people when you actually meet in person. So that was a really great opportunity. So if you guys are coming down here, let me know, because I'd love to meet you.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, I know. I have that invite for everybody. If they're ever, once these borders open up and they're coming up to the West Coast, just make sure they get a hold of us, and we'll be out hunting. And I got the same invite to go down, and like, I've never been on the East Coast. I think the furthest I've kind of come across the United States was to Utah. and down to New Mexico. That's about as far as I've kind of come across the states. So it would be kind of cool to be able to go a little further and meet up with some more friends from the YouTube channels.
Yeah, I'm trying to work on. I mean, I'm driving over to Detroit, Michigan, so I'm trying to find. There's a few people who I've already talked to that I want to detect with along the way. So I'm trying to plan my day so I can still meet up with a couple of people, but I finally have a chance to actually collaborate with a few more others. So that's really exciting, and hopefully things work out for that.
Yeah, so now that we had come to Maine. The snow stopped today. There we go. I got an invite.
I'm pretty sure anybody who knows me in the community will tell me I do not like the cold.
Well, not many of us do, Yeah.
I've been suffering this winter, and that's part of the reason I haven't been out. I mean, there's a few others, but it's been cold. Even like 50 degrees now is bearable, but I don't do well in the cold. So if it stops snowing, I have a better chance then.
Yeah. Now, again, not knowing the where you live, is it a damp cold or is it a dry cold that you have? Because when I come down, I go to Yellowstone in the wintertime, and it's a really dry cold. It could be, for us, it's in the -20s. So, but where I live here, I can wear the same clothes here in the wintertime as I do in -20 in Yellowstone, but it's a dry cold. It's totally different, I don't know is that the same for you back where you live?
I'd say it's kind of in the middle. It does get humid, but you don't notice it as much when it's cold. So for me, it doesn't bother me. If anything, for me, I'm more concerned about the opposite, because when it's hot out, I'd rather it not be humid. I spent 3 months in Kenya and a month in Tanzania, and both times the temperatures would go up to maybe 115 degrees Fahrenheit, and which I'm fine with because it was dry heat. So if you went into the shade, you were totally fine.
Yeah.
Here, if you're at like 85 degrees and it's humid, you're sweating bullets, and you can't do anything about it, even in the shade.
Yeah. No, I know I love going down to Arizona also. It's that dry heat that down there, and I've got a couple of people that I've got to go down there and do some nugget hunting with them down there. So, and that's my next question. Have you ever tried like hunting for nuggets? Is there areas in where you are for nugget hunting or gold hunting?
Not that I'm aware of. I definitely want to try it. I've got to get together with Ed from Flash in Your Pan and see if he can take me out and show me how it's done.
Yeah.
It's on the list, but honestly, I've taken such a long break. I'm trying to just get back into the detecting and the magnet fishing first before I try more stuff, because then I'm just going to have another addiction, and I just don't have the time for it all.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like we kind of get hooked on this stuff, and it just go. And I know I mentioned to you that like I have another channel that I do for my photography, because that's what's kind of started this is my photography. It came to a point where I had kind of nothing to do with this COVID thing, so I thought, okay, well, I've always wanted to try metal detecting, and then once I got hooked on it, it just sucks you right in, and away you go with it. But so it is pretty cool. But what I'm going to do now is we've got some photos, and if there's any questions out in the chat for people for Sonia, please put it in the chat, and we'll get her to answer any burning questions you have that you're not familiar or don't know about Sonia. I'm sure she'll tell you. So put it in the chat, and so let's see if we've got anything. Yeah.
If you do, please at me, because it's a little easier for me to see questions that way.
Yeah, I think so. I'll try to bring them up for you too if I see something in the chat here. But so let me go to our next screen here, and I got to close one window here, and then we'll get things going here. Okay. So in here, this is one of your finds that you had here, and not knowing the American coins, can you tell me what am I looking at here?
So when this was literally my first time out, and I was with a buddy of mine, and the first thing I found was that barber. And at first I was like, okay, is this just a regular coin? I didn't get too excited. And then my friend got more excited than I was, and I was like, what is it? Why are you so excited? And he explained what it was, and I was like, that is just so cool. And I mean, when I saw the date, I got excited because that's literally over 100 years old, and you get like, I never would have thought I'd find something like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I've seen plenty of pictures online, but finding it yourself is so different from just seeing it or seeing somebody else showing it to you.
Yeah.
And then that quarter was like, that's when I was flipping out, because the dime was super cool, but the quarter was just, even the sound of it, the standing liberty, like that's just so exciting.
That
So
silver when you drop it on a counter sounds so cool, and I think this is what hooks people, a lot of them, to collecting silver coins is that sound.
The first thing I was gonna do is wipe it so I can see what it was. He was like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, okay, I can't wipe the silver. Got it. Point made.
Yeah, no, it is pretty cool now, and the detail on those are still just incredible. You know, you think over 100 years old, you think they kind of wear down a little bit, but I guess I don't know how long they've been in the ground, but you know, it's incredible. You know, it's very, yeah. Metal detecting gem here says shiny, pretty silver. Yes, it sure is. You know, yeah, and again, I guess do you happen to remember what your machine was ringing up on these?
These were actually with believe it or not, with my Excalibur, because that's the first time I went out, so that's all I had.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a readout, and I didn't have a pinpointer, so I had to have my friend help me a little bit. But that's basically what I found with my Excalibur. And it was the only, I guess, one of the first tones that were pretty clear to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was actually with that. So I didn't even have a readout to go by.
Okay, yeah. Now I'm not familiar with the Excalibur other than it's an awesome machine. But I know I have one machine I use for the low tides. It's a White TDI Beach Hunter, and I have my Equinox 800 when I go dirt and in the sand and the beaches. I use that, but both are kind of different. One doesn't give me anything other than it tells me there's a beep. It gives me a beep and there's something there, and I dig it. You know, that's on the Whites.
Yeah.
But is the Excalibur like that also? Or is
Yeah.
there readouts? Is there readouts on there?
No, so there's no actual readout. It's literally just a tone. I mean, it does change a little bit depending on what you go over, but it's nothing like a simplex or something that has that kind of tone discrimination on it. It's just, you either know that you have something or you don't. I'm sure if I used it a lot more, I'd get more accustomed to and get to know it better and be able to kind of gauge what I'm finding. But as of right now, I'm not quite there yet. I've maybe brought it out about 3 times, and then I got my simplex, and that's what I've been using since, at least on the ground.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Because Marty was saying, "Ooh, no, coin police will come for you, Sonia. Don't wipe."
Yes, I was just so excited. I wanted to see what it was, especially after I found the dime, and I got yelled at.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, you know, these coins is you're not looking for to resell as a you're getting this. This is for yourself. So I don't have any issues with kind of rubbing it and kind of cleaning up to a certain point where I think I wouldn't go any further than what I see here for me. You know, you can still see the detail, you can see the year, and that's it. Because I would never resell it anyway. You know, so It's
I'm keeping these forever.
Yeah.
And I don't even, if anything, that extra patina or whatever it is that's still on there, that's what kind of makes everything pop. I love seeing that. So I would never clean that fully either. But just getting the dirt off, I got yelled at.
Yeah.
So I learned my lesson real quick.
Oh, I know. It just and we had here is it 508 mega. It's so hard not to wipe a coin. Got to find out what it is. It is. It's hard. Like I mean, especially sometimes you're in the dirt where it's kind of wet and muddy, and you can't see it, so you have to wipe it. If it's dry,
Yeah.
it's a whole different ball game. It's just a lot easier to kind of look at it. So yeah, but yeah, that's cool. So let's go on to the next one here. So this here, tell us you got a whole bunch of things here.
Yeah, this was with out with JHH, or wait, this was out. Yeah, this was with JH, and I just got super excited. I think that was my first spoon. But it's just things like that, like the relics and stuff that I didn't think I would enjoy at first, because I've watched videos and people pulling that out. I didn't get as excited initially, but
Yeah.
finding it yourself, it's a little bit different. So
Yeah.
now, even the shotgun shells, I found some shotgun shells initially my first time around. I got my first one. I was so excited. And then by the time I got to like the 20th shotgun shell, I was like, okay, it's not as fun anymore. and but that was my first time out also. So initially I was super excited about it, but he was like, yeah, the guy puts this shotgun out here quite a bit. I was like, okay, so not as exciting because they weren't old. But even the older shotgun shells, they'll still have some cool qualities to it. And you start getting more excited once you start learning the history behind these things.
Mm-hmm.
And I was never into history until I started metal detecting.
Yeah, I think it's always like that. I mean, I remember when we went to school, I think history was wasted on us young people because we never, oh yeah, okay, I got to learn this to do my test. But now when you look back and go, oh, I wish I would have retained a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because the way they teach history in school isn't nearly as exciting as the way that they could be teaching it.
Yeah.
Even taking a class out metal detecting, or even to a place where they can see things that have been pulled up, that would get a kid way more interested, especially knowing that they can potentially find something like that. But they don't engage you in history class the way they could be, I think.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I was down on the beach here in Vancouver, and it was early morning, and they had a lot of daycares go down there with the kids, and they had set up a little area in there, and I see this fellow kind of walking towards me, and we have to do that social distancing there, and he comes up and he says, "Oh, you're metal detecting." He says, "Would you mind coming over and talking to our kids over there?" Well, that's all they have to ask. I went over there, and these kids, the questions they were coming up with were just incredible. They're so interested, like, I mean, and they wanted to see what was in my bag, like all the junk and, bottle caps and I'm sure they probably follow you around too when you go on the beach or in the park or something. A little kid will be coming around and want to help you dig, and, yeah. But
yeah, I mean, even whether I'm digging or magnet fishing, people actually get really, really interested because I guess they haven't had that exposure to it. But once you start explaining what you're doing, a lot of people get excited about it. If they had heard about it, maybe just, I don't know, from someone else, it's different from seeing it happen. I think seeing you dig a hole, seeing you pull something out is what really gets people excited.
Yeah. And the thing with down in the States too is you guys have a lot of information that can be kind of brought back on the internet. You're able to research it, like a certain spoon with some designs on it. You can kind of go back, and because someone's taken the time to kind of itemize these things in there. So that's the best part, is you're able to, if you don't know, you can kind of research, in there. So
I think that's so exciting, because if you were doing this 10 years ago or even 5 years ago, some of this stuff is just not out there. People weren't sharing it the way they are now. And now, if I don't know what something is, I can literally post it up, and within a day at most, I know what it is, or I'm closer to figuring out what it is.
yeah.
So I think that's the advantage that we have now. But it's a great thing about the community too, because everybody's sharing their finds, and it just makes you want to learn more. Like when you figure out what it is, you want to figure out where it came from.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, you can post it on the Facebook on one of the metal detecting ones, and sure enough, someone's had found one or knows what they are, so they can kind of help you, along with that. So that's the best part about the community, So in there, so.
Yeah, definitely. I'm laughing because Nancy said I've got to go fishing with Vinny again. He's somebody I ran into while magnet fishing this past weekend. He was such a fun character. It was so much fun hanging out with him. It was a blast.
Anytime I hear Vinny, it sounds like, oh, someone's got a violin case who's going to knock you. With a name like Vinny, yeah. Oh, and this one here, it looks like these little bells, and I'm sure Nancy's probably going, oh boy, Sonia's got one of these too.
Yeah, so this was from a trip when I took my road trip to Ohio. I was digging with Joel and Jordy out there, and they were kind enough to take me out to their own spots. I actually stayed with Jordy and his family while there. And, they were nervous because they really wanted me to find stuff. And again, I'm new to this.
Yeah.
And they were just super nervous. They were worried I won't find anything or have a good time, even though I don't have to find anything to have a good time. It's about the company. So it would have been a great time regardless. But this was literally, we got there as soon as we were like, okay, let's get to work. Within, I think, 3 minutes, I got a signal, and this is what I pulled out.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, no way. And I wanted a bell so bad. I was corrected. It's not a curdle bell. It's a sleigh bell. Yeah. But either way, to me, it's one,
the same. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So I found that almost immediately, and I was just excited from there. The whole day I could have found nothing, and I would have still been.
I mean, I've never found one. I'd love to find one too. Now, is the little dinger little ball or the piece still in it? Yeah.
It's a bit corroded, but it's in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Oh, that's a cool find. Cool find.
It definitely was. That was a good day.
Yeah. And here now, this one here, you probably know what it is.
That was my first Indian head penny, also with
J8.
That's
what, yeah.
I really, really, really wanted one, but I have not found one up until that day. And I went out with JHH and Steve, Sailor Steve, and we were out in a field, and I got one. At first, I couldn't tell what it was, and then I think it was Audra that was like, "That's an Indian head." I was like, "No way!" I was so excited. And then I ended up finding a second one, actually. But yeah, I was super excited. I just love the color on it, and it just looks bad.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I have an Indian head now. I didn't find it, but I won it. So in one of these giveaways, and so I treasure that, and I look forward to finding my own sometime, down the road. So. But yeah,
you've got to come down here.
Yeah, I think I have to. Yeah, absolutely. And this here looks like it's a button of some sort.
Yeah. So this was an impromptu decision to dig up my mom's backyard when I got my simplex. Mm-hmm. So she was a little hesitant. She had no idea what I was doing, and I was just like, "I'm gonna go find stuff in the backyard. Do you care?" No. Okay. So I went, and I found. I think the first thing I found was a little toy car, but it wasn't that old. And then I pulled this up. At first, I thought it was just trash, but I was like, I'm going to take this, try to clean it up a little bit. I didn't think I'd be able to ID it at all. But when I started looking it up, it's actually a golf blazer button from up to like 100, from like the 18 or 1900s. Which was super interesting. And I've seen other versions online. Mine looks a lot older than the ones that they have now. And there's a lot of replicas that people are finding that are a little newer. Mm-hmm. But I would love to take this and actually get it dated and figure out exactly how old it is. But it was a totally random find in my mom's backyard. I don't know if it was from backfill or if it's just there from when somebody dropped it. But I've got to do some more digging there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always kind of a cool place. I know you and I were talking about it. Yeah, I got to go back to Mom's and find some more stuff in Mom's. Because what? You can go there different times and go over the same area with your detector and the soil's going to be acting a little different to the machine, and you're going to find up something different, so
That's a really good point too.
yeah, so go back and keep looking, so
I'm gonna be back either this weekend or the next, so
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll be bringing my Simplex because I'm really curious to see what else she has back there. I heard a bunch of different signals while I was there, but this was when I was really just starting out and just digging everything. I didn't know what sound was what. So now that I've had a little more experience with my Simplex, I'm definitely gonna go back and dig up my mom's yard a bit more.
Yeah. Now, how are you finding the Simplex? Are you having any problems with that, or?
I haven't had any. No,
Oh,
it's
okay.
been great. I mean, the battery life is incredible on that thing. I've found a couple of really cool things with it, even though I don't even know the machine that well yet.
Yeah.
So I can't speak too much on like the different modes and everything like that because I haven't had the experience to do that yet. But so far, especially being a new detectorist, it's been super easy to use, and I haven't had any issues with it.
Okay. Because the reason I ask is I've heard that there's a lot of chatter and it takes quite a while for you kind of figure out the chattering part of the machines, so.
So the only time I had chatter was actually the first time I was out, or not, no, the first time I took my Simplex out. And that was because of the machines that my friends were using. But if I stepped away from them, I didn't have that chatter. I don't have the chatter with my pinpointer either. So I don't run into that issue. It's only if I'm by certain machines. And when that happens, I can switch the mode and it goes away. So it really just depends.
Okay.
You kind of have to figure out what's causing it.
Yeah, yeah. Now this 1 cent, you found this with your Simplex, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And I think we might have another side of that one there.
Yeah.
18? Is it 1845?
Yep.
Boy, that's older than you and I put together.
Yeah, this was also in Ohio. This was my first large scent, and again, the people I was with, they were so concerned that I wouldn't find a largie, and I ended up finding this one after a little while. It took a little while, but I found it. But everybody else was finding largies left and right. I think we came out with like 11 largies that day.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a great day. We had so many awesome finds, but that's definitely one of my favorites. I wish I could clean it up a little bit more around the like hairpiece, but I don't want to ruin it. So I just
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've done that, but I think most people do. Just get a little wooden toothpick and kind of pick around to just get the dirt out, so it doesn't scratch it too much, or just kind of just get a little bit of definition on it, So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I did that a little bit, but I don't know. I felt like knowing myself, I would ruin it somehow. So I was like, I'm just gonna leave it as is. I can tell what it is. It looks good. Just gonna leave it like that.
Yeah. No, now I just want to, just say to you guys that, hey, don't find all this stuff. Wait till us Canadians come down and detect with you. Leave some things for us, too, to find.
I'll leave a few things behind next month.
Oh, yeah, please. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't promise that. I dig everything.
Oh, yeah. Now this, I know there's a story behind these here, and I saw your video on this. So you explain what you've got here.
Well, so here we went out again with JHH. I swear, Audra and Rachel are amazing. They've taken me on so many adventures so far, and they've been the first people to reach out to me when I started digging here in New Jersey, and they're just incredible. They really. I can't tell you how grateful I am that I've met them and had a chance to do all these things with them. But they actually invited me out to go shark tooth hunting. And I didn't even think that was a thing here in New Jersey. I didn't think that we had shark teeth like this, but these are super, super old. These are already fossilized shark teeth.
Yeah.
It's not new shark teeth that you might pull up on a beach or something. These are very old. And I found actually in the process, I think you can see it there in the picture on the bottom right, if I'm seeing my sides right.
Yeah.
there's actually a tooth there that I think was from a prehistoric large fish. I actually reached out to some paleontologists and some scientists to see if they can tell me what it is, but it's really hard for them to tell me exactly what it is without having the specimen.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, COVID times, I'm not going to go see anybody to do that. But
Yeah, yeah.
my guess, based on my own research, is it's actually a tooth. I was joking around initially that it's like a dinosaur tooth or something, but it's just about that old, so it could be.
Yeah. I mean, I just, I just can't believe that you guys can go along the river bed like this and be picking these things up. Like, I mean, what were there, like
I didn't think
thousands
it
of
was
sharks in
possible.
this place or what?
I didn't think it was possible, but if you actually sit and think about it, at some point this area was underwater.
Yeah.
Um, at some point you had all this land was covered in water, and you did have these prehistoric sharks and fish all around this area, which is insane to
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
But it's there, and being able to just kind of find all these. And I mean, if you watch the video, you can see the sifter I used. I actually went out and bought all the stuff to make it. I was determined to make my own sifter because I didn't have one.
Mm-hmm.
So I was actually going to do a video on that. Came out terrible, so I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the sifter worked great, and almost every time I put a huge pile on my sifter, I found another tooth.
Yeah.
And initially, it's really, really hard to spot. The second you find like 3 or 4, you start seeing them everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was really cool.
Yeah, I know if people out there haven't seen that video, they should go back into your channel and watch that video because it's a cool one to see. With you guys walking along there. Yeah, I just love that. So, yeah, it's just those things are just awesome. Like I said, I never thought you could find them. The way you guys were finding them there. I guess there was like you say, at one time there was an ocean there, and with these guys were there. So
For me, it was extra special because one, I'm an anthropology major, so all that stuff I love. I love people, culture, all of that ancient culture and everything, but
mm-hmm.
also all the wildlife and especially the marine life because I'm a
Yeah,
diver.
yeah,
Anything
yeah.
water related is like tugs at my heartstrings. So being able to find all these shark teeth was just super special for me.
Yeah. So people out there, Sonia's not just a great magnet fisher, metal detector, she's also a major university student here. Yay! Good.
Oh yeah,
All right. Yeah, that's the way. That's the way.
Jason.
What do we got here? Okay.
Jason said he can't even say
I can't even say anthropology. Yes.
I kind of believe it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Let's see. Now this really kind of got me. It took me a long time to figure out what it was when you sent these photos to me, and I don't know. Before you say anything, I just wonder if people out in the chat know what this is. If you do, put it in the chat and see if you're correct. In there,
Let's see if anybody knows. And if you watch the video, you're cheating.
yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Oh, what? Okay. So, here we go. Okay. So, Frank, have you purchased a Kevlar vest for those tough permissions yet? Not yet, but yes. Sometimes I think we need to do it. Okay. So, okay. We have. Okay. So, what is that from Roberto? Nancy says skateboard. And Tina says skateboard. That's my wife. Madison Maine skateboard. Longboard from North Jersey. And so, wish me luck. How big is that? 70 skateboard. Boy, we've got a lot of, and I used to be a board trickster here for Metal Jam. So, so tell us the story behind this one.
So this was magnet fishing. I was with Jarl, and we were pulling up cool stuff regardless. But at some point, I started pulling this up, and I had no idea what it was because it was covered in all the seaweed, and it was just really, really hard to tell. The second I saw the wheels, I thought it was roller skates. And then I kept pulling up and I saw the whole thing. I got so excited because, first of all, this looks like a retro skateboard. I looked up the style and I think it is from the 70s. So Jason might be right.
Yeah.
But it's actually a pretty old skateboard, which is really fun to find because I could just imagine some kid in the 70s rolling around that hill that I tried it down and just busting their butt, and the skateboard just flies into the water. And it's just incredible because it makes you wonder how long this stuff has been underwater.
Yeah.
And if you look at the line going across, not between the red and white, but the dirt line, that's how far deep in the mud it was.
Oh, wow. Now,
So
I guess you're probably right with this, Sonia, because the newer skateboards, they kind of have a sandpaper surface. This looks like little things that are sticking up for traction for the people on there. So you could be right, yeah. And here's North Jersey. Yeah, that looks like a retro 70s board. So yeah. But yeah, that was in the dirt a long ways for sure. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and it takes a while. So people, when they go magnet fishing, sometimes they don't pull all the cool stuff out because they give up. So sometimes your magnet will catch on something. You think you have something, you pull it up, there's nothing there. But it's because it's lodged in that muck, and you have to kind of ease it out it takes a little bit of time, but the more you catch and let go, the more it comes out, and then eventually you get what you're looking for. And I get stubborn. So when I catch onto something and I know something's there, I'm not leaving until I pull it out, unless it's already like completely dark and I've just got to go. But I get pretty stubborn with those finds.
Now, do you do the ocean or rivers? Where do you go mostly for your metal detecting, or your your magnet fishing? Yeah.
Magnet fishing, we generally go either to bridges over a river. In this case, we're in New Jersey, but basically we go over some bridges that cross over the Hackensack River. And then we have one of our main spots, which is basically like a pond, lake-ish kind of thing. Pretty small. It's not that big. But Gerald has pulled out guns out of there, so you never know what you're going to find.
Yeah.
And then the recent video I did was from a spot that I found that I wanted to go metal detect, actually, in the woods nearby. But I saw the water there, and I was like, looks like a pretty nice place to find stuff. So I found that early last year, and I wanted to go back, but I haven't had a chance. And I finally was like, you know what, I'm going to take the drive because it's about an hour away. And I'm so glad that I did because I found so many awesome things in there. But yeah, any body of water, honestly, you can find stuff.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's it. I haven't, like I say, I haven't been able to get out, but I've got all my gear. I'm gonna go do it this year for sure. Because the good weather's here now, and I've got to do it because I'm seeing all the good stuff you're finding, so I got to try to keep up to you. So
you've got to do it. I mean,
yes.
There's just so much you can
just
find.
go do it. The Nike saying, just do it.
Right.
Now here, I think this is one of your really good finds because you've got it in a little special little box.
Yeah. So this was my second time out, and I actually made those boxes because I didn't have a find box. So I had this little carpet thing, which is that pink fuzzy that you see in the background. And I had these little containers. Each of those were one individual square from an organizer that I had. And I just super glued them together, put in the little cushions, and I just needed something to hold my finds if I find anything. But yeah, so that's the first time I had it out. And this was one of the best finds of the day. There was another cool lock that we found too, but this is a silver ribbon. At first, my buddy thought it was military, but I don't think that was the case.
Yeah.
But it was just super cool because it's very decorative. It's got a lot of detail on it, and it's silver. So who doesn't like silver?
was there any gemstones in there? I don't like. It's hard to see around the edges there.
No. So there's a bit of what is it called? Filigree. There's just some design around the ribbon.
Yeah.
But There were no gems or anything like
Oh,
that.
okay. Yeah, that is a cool find to like you bring that up and you wonder like how did the person lose that? I always ask like how did the person lose something that big? You think you'd notice it, but
Yeah, my guess is it's just like a brooch somebody might have been wearing, um, and just might have dropped it. And something like that you probably wouldn't notice until it's too late.
hmm
But this was found up in like a hiking area, so it wasn't along farmland or something like that. So no idea how it got there. I wish I knew, but
yeah.
that's kind of the mystery behind all these things. So.
Oh, okay. So we had like Nancy was saying something about we should see you draw. So are you an artist or is it something we're learning here today? You're an artist also?
Um, that's so funny. You're the second person I'm talking to about this within like 24 hours.
Huh.
Yeah, I used to draw a lot. I used to draw portraits. I don't know. Maybe I can pull up a picture for you. I don't know if you'll be able to see
Sure.
here,
Yeah.
but I used to draw portraits for for just friends and people I kind of wanted to gift things to.
Mm-hmm.
And I've basically it takes hours. It takes me hours. So I'm not the kind of artist that can sit down, sketch you a beautiful picture in 5 minutes. I actually sit down for hours to draw
Yeah.
things. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you enjoy it, it doesn't really matter how
Oh,
much time
yeah.
you're taking. Um, but I don't know if you can see that. That's a
Oh,
portrait
wow.
I drew
Wow. That
quite
is
a while
quite
back.
a that's a lot of detail in that too. Wow.
Yeah, this was before I added the little guy's hair.
Oh man, I tell you that yeah, it's very cool, Sonia. Yeah, it's just yeah. I mean, you're a very talented person.
I
It.
tried painting too. That was a while back.
Oh
These are
wow,
all
yeah,
super old.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but I decided I'm going to take a little more time. Somebody told me I have to, so
You
I'm going to take a little more time
is that
to.
painted or drawn?
That's colored pencil.
Oh wow, that looks like the real thing there.
Yeah, yeah. This was just a random sketch, or
Oh
it started
okay,
as a
yeah.
random
I can
sketch.
we're almost ready to take a bite out of that. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Oh man,
I
you're very
enjoy it.
talented. It I
I
should have
did.
had that as a question for my next live stream. Yeah.
You can. I mean, I just really I like to express myself
Mhm.
creatively, and anything that requires me to make stuff with my hands, whether it's drawing, painting, crocheting, things like that. It's just something that I really enjoy.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I made these as a gift one time. These are
Oh wow.
crocheted
Yeah, very cool.
boobies. But yeah, I kind of do anything that you can that's
Yeah,
creative.
yeah,
I
yeah.
have too many hobbies and not enough time
Yeah,
is what it is.
that's the thing is yeah having the time. Time's gonna come. Because when you get retired, I'm retired now, so I have lots of time. So
Yeah.
there is gonna be some time. So you just develop the skills now. When you're ready to retire. So, it
Yeah, exactly. I'll
yeah
have time eventually.
yeah that's right. Now this one here, and I guess this is it looks like the door off that safe that you and I were talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is basically what got me hooked on magnet fishing. I mean, I went out with Gerald one time. I had contacted her on Facebook. I was like, I want to go out with you because she had a couple of magnets. And again, she was so nice to take me out and show me how it is, shared her magnets with me. And then we were joking when we first got there. I don't know if I have it on video, but I was like, how cool would it be if we found a safe?
Uh,
And then lo and behold, 2, 3 hours later, we pulled up this door and it was totally unexpected. It was, yeah, it did go viral for a little
viral.
bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Super surprising, but it was nice because it gave me a pretty nice boost in my channel
Uh
quickly.
huh. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that was such an exciting moment because it's one of those things where as a magnet fisher, that's what you want to find. and finding that on the first time out, I'm telling you, it's like I've got this beginner's luck that just slowly dwindles.
Oh, that really hooks you, coming up with that right away. Wow.
For sure.
Yeah. And then you pulled the rest of the safe out after that too?
Yeah. So the rest of the safe was heavy. I actually ended up going down by the shore. This was off of the bridge. I went down by the shore, and I kind of used my magnet to sort of flip it over towards shore so I could pull it out. The magnet just was not able to catch onto it because it was actually mostly plastic. There were metal parts in it, but the outside was mostly plastic. So you would have to catch it in a specific way. So I just got a little creative and then eventually pulled it out.
Yeah. It's incredible. Yeah, that's the coolest find, to get for sure. You find a safe, but you can see that the top there was kind of pried open on there. So it's I guess somebody stole it and wanted the insides, and you wonder if there was anything. Yeah.
They got into it. I don't know what they pulled out of it. It just makes you wonder, and it's, again, a mystery. You'll never know, but such a cool find. Such a cool thing.
That's always the mystery, isn't it? Like, what was in there, so, yeah. And then here we got another, I think this will be, the last one here, photo we've got.
So that's actually, I think, Rachel in the background. So that was with JHH. We went out for our hunt, and we were just kind of walking around. Audra found this bottle, which I thought was amazing. You can't really see the color too well in this, just because I don't have most of my original pictures because I recently switched my phone. So I don't have them, but it's like a super clear, beautiful blue. I ended up cleaning it out. They gave it to me because they have plenty of bottles. So they were, again, super generous, as they always are, and gave me that bottle. And it was sitting on my windowsill since I got it. Right now it's still packed away. I have to unpack it and put it somewhere on probably prop it up here on my windowsill. But that was an awesome find. And again, things like this I really love because I can get creative with this and do something really nice and decorative with it. Mm-hmm. I haven't had the chance to yet because, again, too many hobbies, not enough time. But it's on the to-do list now that things have settled down with my house and all, and have a little more time on my hands.
I know they have tons of these old bottles, and when you see their videos, you see them in the background on there, so all cleaned up. And now I can't read it. It says Phillips milk of something on
milk of magnesia. Milk of magnesia.
Oh, it is magnesia. Okay, so this was is it like the Pepto-Bismol type thing? Isn't that what?
I think so. This is like I want to say it's like a diuretic.
Yeah, something for upset stomachs or something. I think that's.
It'll make you go.
That's one large bottle. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I kind of enhanced it a little bit just to show the blue in it, but it is quite bluish in there, So, but yeah. So
I've got to find it and post a nice clean picture of it because I don't think I've done that since then. Since it was packed away, but I'll have to do that and share with you.
How did you clean the inside out on that?
I did what Audra told me to do. I put just some warm water and some, I think it was sugar I put in there. Or salt, one of the two. And I just shook it up as much as I could. I do want to take like a brush inside, but I have to get one of the flexible ones. I haven't done that. But it'll be nice to get it fully cleaned out. I still have a little bit of muck on the inside, but it's pretty clean for the most part at this point.
Yeah, that's the thing. I guess you're trying to clean the insides out on some of them because you got years of baked on dirt and and you can't reach it to get at it properly to kind of pry it loose in there. So that is
exactly.
That is cool. So, but that's I'm just let me just go back here. That was it, Sonia. We went through your photos that you sent me, and here we've been yakking for an hour and a half already, and the time goes by so quickly, when we're having fun, and it's so cool. I mean, you're so personable. you're full of information, and it's just nice to chat with you. I know I've tried for a while, and you're so busy. I mean, you're renovating, you're doing everything. It just you're getting the tenants evicted. It's just
Let's not even talk about that.
you've got everything on the go, which is just incredible. But
Ooh,
and as Nancy says here, Sonia rock. Oh, hey, I don't have one of those. I could use one of them for the
That's
back.
because these just came in 2 days ago. These are coasters.
Okay. Oh, they're coasters. Hey,
Yeah.
you know what? I had my first gin and tonic on my deck today. It's the season, so I'd love to have one or two of those. So yeah.
I'll send it your way. I thought, I don't know, most of the people here in the chat probably have my stickers, but I have these little packs that I made a while back.
Okay.
And in here, I don't know if I have my holographic, but I've got, my regular stickers in here.
Mhm.
And I've got a couple other versions that I had made, which I think.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know,
yeah,
do you have these?
yeah.
Yeah, I think you have that one. And then I've got
I don't have. Nope, I don't have them. Nope. Nope.
my holographic one.
Yeah, I'll have to get. Yeah, those are cool. Very cool. Yeah.
And I have magnets.
Oh,
But
hey,
I'm
you've got them all. Oh, man, it's just yeah, very cool. Yeah. Oh, and a keychains. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
man.
probably gonna send a couple of these out.
Yeah, yeah, please do. Yeah, I mean, I would love to have some of those. Now, I had there was another one. I'm just trying to find where it went to. I can't find it. When you want to find something right away, you can't find it. But I'll do another
For
time.
anyone in the chat, if
Yeah.
you guys want to swap stickers, just email me. It's scubasonia20
Yeah.
at Gmail. So just let me know, and I'm happy to send some over.
Yeah, no, we'll get that going in there. Now, I have, I know we were trying to get Nancy to come and join, but she ended up she was a little bit busy, but she is out in here in the chat. And Nancy, if do you have time to come in? I'm going to put a link in here. If you can, I'd love to have you come in and just chat with us for a little bit. And yeah.
Originally, the original time didn't work for her. She didn't realize we had switched to a later time, and that's why that kind of worked out that way. But I'd love to see Nancy if she wants to come up.
Yeah, come on up. I put the link in there. If she can click on it. But yeah, I mean, I've been trying to get Nancy to come on too. We're going to have a time slot, I think, down the road for her to come in and chat with her, because she's another one that's got tons of information, and I don't know how she does all this moderating on all these channels and doing it so quickly.
Pro.
Yeah, doing it so quickly.
She is a pro. Nobody can say anything about Nancy. She's got it down packed.
Yeah. I don't know how she does it so quickly. But anyway, it is what it is. But yeah, hey, listen, this was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. We have to do this again. And I know maybe when things get a little calmer for you, we'll get you back on and talk some more and look at some of your other finds that you've got and photos.
Well,
and
definitely, I'm going to be out quite a lot more this summer. So hopefully I'll have some fun new finds to share with you all. But yeah, coming soon, I promise.
Okay, no worries. Nancy's chilling on the sofa. Hey, go for it. That's where I'm heading too.
Well, Nancy got her other shot today, so she deserves some rest.
Yeah. She's probably got a
Nancy,
sore arm. Yeah. She's got a sore arm. She can't be typing too much now. But I have another show. It's 5:45 here in Vancouver. I have another show at 7:30 for my photography that I'm going to be doing, interviewing a photographer out of Australia. So that's on my photography channel. But yeah, it's anyway. Listen, Sonia, like I say, it's been a real pleasure, and thanks for coming on and sharing your stories with our audience here. and look forward to seeing you again and chatting with you. And like I say, if anybody's looking for a sticker, just send a little note off to Sonia and she'll forward some for you. But anyway, we're gonna go. Yes, big hearts out, and we're off and running. Thank you, Sonia, and thank you everybody for coming
Bye,
along.
everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, bye.